Hello all, welcome to Identifying Run-Ons. What is a run-on? A run-on sentence is a type of what grammarians call a fused sentence. This is what happens in a run-on sentence. Two sentences that would be able to stand on their own as complete thoughts are melted together in some ways, resulting in a statement that's often confusing and ungrammatical. Run-on sentences have more than one independent clause, a section of a sentence that can stand on its own as a complete thought with its own subject and verb. In a run-on, these independent clauses are not coordinated, joined together logically in a coherent manner. Here are some examples. Mountain lions are not dangerous animals, they are beautiful and passive creatures. Emily was my friend, she always stuck by me. I was walking home alone, I was scared and nervous. My English teacher told me not to take 20 credits, I'm regretting not having listened to her. April never asked how I was, what did she care? So each one of these we have two clauses jammed together. Let's identify some run-ons. Baked ziti is a wonderful, delicious dish. I like to eat it all the time. Is this a run-on? It is. This has two independent clauses. The first is, baked ziti is a wonderful, delicious dish. The second is, I like to eat it all the time. We could correct it by using a conjunction. Baked ziti is a wonderful, delicious dish, and I like to eat it all the time. That connects the two independent clauses. My cousin Miranda is a top-earning model for Vogue magazine. Not a run-on. This has only a single independent clause. I was dreaming last night that I had a new Ferrari. It was stolen. This is a run-on. This has two independent clauses. The first is I was dreaming last night that I had a new Ferrari, and the second is it was stolen. We could correct by again using a conjunction. I was dreaming last night that I had a new Ferrari, but it was stolen. In a couple of years, I will earn more money than my wife. Not a run-on. This sentence has a dependent clause, in a couple of years, paired with an independent clause, I will earn more money than my wife. It's what we call a complex sentence, but it's not a run-on. Fixing run-ons. Run-on sentences are two sentences mashed together into one. The basic way to fix a run-on then is to find a way to connect the sentences, or the independent clauses, in a way that is grammatically coherent and clear for the reader. Three primary ways to fix a run-on sentence. A. We break up the run-on into two or more complete sentences. B. We connect the independent clauses with a punctuation mark designed to do this, a semicolon. Or C. Use a comma and a coordinating word, a conjunction, to connect the two independent clauses into a single grammatical sentence. So let's take some examples and break them into two sentences. My cousin Juliet is very talented. She was accepted at the Berklee School of Music and is now a famous pianist. So we'd want to find the independent clauses and break them up. The first one is, my cousin Juliet is very talented. It's our first independent clause. And we can make a period and start a new sentence. She was accepted at the Berklee School of Music and is now a famous pianist. In 2003, the United States invaded Iraq. It was a very quick invasion and the U.S. forces quickly destroyed the Iraqi army. Our first independent clause. In 2003, the United States invaded Iraq. A very simple sentence. We can make a period and start a new sentence. It was a very quick invasion and the U.S. forces quickly destroyed the Iraqi army. The web server went down yesterday. It seems that too many people were trying to access the same information at the same time. Okay, let's identify our independent clauses and break them up. The web server went down yesterday, period. It seems that too many people were trying to access the same information at the same time. We can break this into two competing sentences. My daughter lost her favorite doll last week and promptly started to panic. My son found it behind the couch. A little bit more complex of a sentence. My daughter lost her favorite doll last week and promptly started to panic, period, and my son found it behind the couch is our second. Using a semicolon. Semicolon is a punctuation mark that indicates a strong verbal pause, longer than a comma, and it's primarily used to link independent clauses together in longer sentences. Some examples. I enjoy soup, semicolon, it is very tasty. My brother is a successful architect in Washington, semicolon, he specializes in municipal buildings and urban design. So where will we place the semicolon in these examples? Jason and Alexandra went out last week. They had a great time. Same task exists for this one. Find the independent clause. Jason and Alexandra went out last week, semicolon, they had a great time. My daughter dressed up like an owl for Halloween last year. Everyone said she was very cute. So our first independent clause, my daughter dressed up like an owl for Halloween last year. Our second, everyone said she was very cute. So we can put a semicolon between those two. My English teacher recommended I do some extra reading over the summer. It really helped with building some more sophisticated vocabulary. Again, find our main independent clause. My English teacher recommended I do some extra reading over the summer. Semicolon. It really helped with building some more sophisticated vocabulary. In 2008, my dad supported John McCain for president. I supported Barack Obama. Our first clause, in 2008, my dad supported John McCain for president, semicolon, I supported Barack Obama. Marcus, Lily, and Jasmine went to the movies last night. Courtney heard about it and was really jealous. Our first independent clause seems to be Marcus, Lily, and Jasmine went to the movies last night. We can break another one. Courtney heard about it and was really jealous. Conversely, we could also put it in a different place. Marcus, Lily, and Jasmine went to the movies. Last night, Courtney heard about it and was really jealous. This does change the meaning of the sentence, depending on the intent of the writer. Conjunctions. Conjunctions are words used to connect phrases and clauses together. Coordinating conjunctions serve to connect clauses together and show the logical connection between them. A good acronym for some coordinating conjunctions are fanboys. For and nor, but, or, yet, so. These can often click to connect independent clauses together. Subordinating conjunctions introduce a subordinate or dependent element in a sentence, i.e., they introduce dependent clauses, so they make one clause in the sentence dependent on the other. Words like after, although, as if, as long as, if only that, and though, all are subordinating conjunctions. Let's try using some. Last month, a stranger backed into my car. The bumper was damaged extensively. So we could use a conjunction. Last month, a stranger backed into my car, and the bumper was damaged extensively. We could also use another conjunction. Last month, a stranger backed into my car, so the bumper was damaged extensively. The printer in my office always infuriates me. It jams up every time I try to use it. We can use the coordinating conjunction and. The printer in my office always infuriates me, and it jams up every time I try to use it. Or we could also use a subordinating conjunction. The printer in my office always infuriates me because it jams up every time I try to use it. My geometry teacher recommended I seek out some tutoring help. I really improved my success in trigonometry. We might use the conjunction so. My geometry teacher recommended I seek out some tutoring help, so I really improved my success in trigonometry, implying that the improvement is due to the tutoring. My geometry teacher recommended I seek out some tutoring help, but I really improved my success in trigonometry. This implies that you didn't get the tutoring because the but reverses and shows exception. In 2008, my grandfather passed away. He was sick for a long time. In 2008, my grandfather passed away after he was sick for a long time. Again, we can introduce a subordinating conjunction. In 2008, my grandfather passed away, but he was sick for a long time. I can use the coordinating. Tom, Kay, and Corey were best friends. They had their fights. Tom, Kay, and Corey were best friends, but they had their fights. Tom, Kay, and Corey were best friends, yet they had their fights. Again, coordinating conjunctions work. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this was helpful.